like beautiful. This is beach number 2 at sunset and it is crazy. It's really nice. On this episode of Across All Borders going west, it's good vibes only in Salone. Before I get into the gist of my time in Sierra Leone, I want to say a huge thanks to Alusine, Angela, Ahmed and Karim for making my stay wonderful and memorable. So let's get into it.
Abu want to look for us. This one is bigger.
Abu.
Big stone.
Hey, watch out, this stone is a very big one.
Please don't stone us with that.
Whoa. So, hi guys. Oh my god. So this is country number 7 in West Africa and I just arrived Sierra Leone yesterday and I can't tell you how much relieved I am that people understand English and I don't have to speak my miserable French all the way. It was a crazy ride coming here because our car from Conakry was not very good and the driver was very upset when we complained. He almost got mad. But hey, look at this place. Like seriously, look around you. Like it makes you forget. It makes you forget every misgiven that ever happened in Guinea. So in terms of getting around, I pretty much use like the tuk-tuks and motorbikes or the public buses. I felt quite comfortable doing that in Sierra Leone. I think one of the major reasons why it felt a lot easier is because Sierra Leone has English as its main language, so I could communicate with almost anybody. And I remember being in the taxi taking me to one of the places I stayed in Freetown, which was the Green Bamboo Lodge, it's called, quite central. They were playing Nigerian gospel, so it just felt like being at home. And then in terms of accommodation, I also did an Airbnb, which is called Jasmine's Inn, and it was really nice. That was like a self-contained by myself, also in a quite central neighborhood. I had 8 days in Sierra Leone and I had about 16 places I wanted to go to. I didn't get to go into all of them, but I made it to at least 10 places. Amongst my to-go list that I didn't get to go to was Gola Rainforest National Park, TY I think it's called, Fourah Beach and Banana Islands and the Western Area National Park. But I did go to, however, Bunce Island, River Number 2 Beach, the Tacugama Chimpanzee Sanctuary, the National Rail Museum, Old Fourah Bay College, the Cotton Tree, the Sierra Leone National Museum, the Sierra Leone Peace Museum, and of course, Lumley Mall. In terms of money, I wasn't able to withdraw money from the ATM, so I sent myself Lone using World Remit. Thankfully, with the help of Alusine and Ray, I was able to work out a schedule to visit the 10 places I wanted to see in the days that I had. Let's check it out. So this is Alusine, the Couchsurfing ambassador.
Welcome to Sierra Leone.
This we see is for us to create an artificial family for them, because they are social animals. Even in the wild, they live in a group of 1 to 50 or 1 to 100, having a leader which is the alpha male. Unlike gorillas, chimpanzees make their leader a male and the male. So therefore, when they are also brought in here, we try to put them in this family. That's the reason why you see these cages. It is a bit slow and technical process, because for chimps to just accept one another is not easy like us humans. Sometimes it can take a long time, and at times even if care is not taken, we may fail in doing so. Especially when it depends on terms of gender and age. For baby chimps like this, it's very easy for us to do integration, to put them in a family. And also for females, this can be easily accepted. But for a mature male, that one is not easy because the group to maintain balance, how best they can fetch their food from time to month. So in here we try to train them this skill, and so if in the wild it's easier for them to survive. High security area. chimps over there are well aggressive and they tend to escape frequently. So that's the reason why we don't even take tourists there. And then the inclusion additionally will give this metal plate, you know, to give more height to the fence, so that one also discourages them from trying to escape. Chimps in this group are within the age of 6 to 9 years old, with the exemption of Mark, who is about 15 years old. Watch this, please.
Whoa! Oh!
Clapping for them is not a feel like happiness. That's perceiving now. They are dead. And these are older guys within the age of 20 to 25 years old. They don't have necks.
Abu. Hey. Abu banana.
It's beach number 2 and it's a bit of a drive if you're staying in town, but it's quite accessible and you need to arrange your own ride, except you have maybe like a car, and you can bring your own food, you can bring your own drinks, you rent the tables and get the number of chairs suited for the people you're staying with. The music starts in the evening before we were playing our own music, and the water is amazing. So thank you so much, Joachim, for introducing me to Alusine. And
yes, welcome to Salone. Welcome, enjoy.
Big love, Freetown, thank you. It's just the meat. So we've got meatballs.
Yeah.
And we've got chicken, we've got sausage. What kind of sausage is that?
Confidence.
Confidence? What's in confidence? Is it beef?
Chicken.
It's chicken?
Yes.
Oh, chicken sausage. Okay. And there you got some chicken as well.
Chicken
Looks good.
feet.
Chicken feet, and this is gizzard? Or?
Gizzard, yes.
Yeah, because we have in Nigeria suya. And we do suya gizzard. Yeah, this is cool. Let's talk about the cotton tree standing next to the Supreme Court and the National Museum in Freetown. It is said to be the oldest cotton tree in Freetown and has an interesting history. According to the locals, the first few Nova Scotian settlers, the freed Africans that arrived this town, prayed under the cotton tree for liberty and freedom and for the possibility of starting their lives as free people, hence the name of the town, Freetown. And until date, a lot of Sierra Leoneans still go under the tree to make offerings and say prayers to their ancestors for peace and prosperity. The tree is said to have been in existence as far back as 1787. So it's an important place to visit when you go to Freetown because it connects you to some of the people from Sierra Leone. In terms of language, you will find that in Freetown, Creole is spoken to a large extent alongside English and some other dialects. It's very interesting to walk through the old part of Freetown and see like all these old buildings and how they've been maintained, and people are living in it. So that was quite interesting. Welcome to the original Fourah Bay College building. The college was opened in 1827 as the first institution of higher learning in modern sub-Saharan Africa after the collapse of the one in Timbuktu. It was, for a long time, the only place where British colony West Africans who wanted a university degree could get a degree. The building survived the civil war in Sierra Leone. It was not destroyed, but it was used as a place of refuge for displaced people. And it was during this period that it caught fire and burnt down. So what you see remaining is the outside frame of the building, and pretty much everything else inside has been lost to the fire. So let's go in and explore. Got pillars, and it's getting overgrown, kind of like you see the roof. Wow, this is pretty. So that tree has kind of like taken control. And I meet Mohamed Bangaru, who was the first director and one of the major players in having this museum in place. He actually started 2 years in Germany. He's been a railway enthusiast from the beginning, and he played a huge role in ensuring that these relics were not destroyed during the 10-year war that the country faced. So this is the main track of the railway from back in the days. The main line went from Freetown to Waterloo to Moyamba to Mutrebo, Blama, Serbewama, Kenma, Pendambu, on Daru, and that's the Daru. That's the main line, and then you have another one. Yes, that went up, and that was the mining route up to McKinney, and that was the mining route and to Port Loko. Okay. So, hey guys, it's definitely payday. As every worker, you are excited about the day you get paid. And what's interesting about this particular coach I'm standing on, it's called the Pay Coach, and it was actually used to carry the salaries of workers. And this lovely heavy metal box I'm carrying, which has a lock by the way, is called Sierra Leone Railway Cash Pan. So that's where the money used to be inside, and the workers were paid from this cash pan. I don't want to imagine what this box was weighing when the money was inside, because without the money it weighs a lot. But yes, payday, every day. This is payday back in the days. Meet Nelly, which is the oldest steam engine here. It was built in 1915 in Fourah Bay, and I put the 1915 in connection with 1914 when Nigeria was amalgamated. So this is the oldest steam engine in this museum called Nelly. So this is Bunce Island, the remains of the slave. I don't want to call it a slave castle, even though they say a lot of that in Ghana. This is like one of the properties that were used for selling slaves. Bunce Island is not habited by anyone, but you have the remnants of this old building that were used by the slave traders back in the days to actually trade slaves. So this is the port where most of the slaves will arrive, and they'll be transferred from here. This building has deteriorated, and they're doing renovation works on it. Most of the renovation are being paid by black people in the diaspora, so black Americans and other people of African descent are paying to have this place rebuilt. So I'm just going to walk around and show you, but I'm pretty impressed with how this tree has grown on this wall. So since a couple of weeks, the Commission for Museums and Monuments has put an entry fee for this place. It is 100,000 for a foreign adult and 35,000 for locals. So that's one of the shocking things I had to find out. Otherwise, we took a bike ride that was pretty much over an hour to get to Papel, where we took a boat over here. The boat is a little shorter, and it's a nice ride if you get the best bossman ever, and there he is. I will introduce you when we're in proper light, so you can take the boat with him when you are coming over here. Sometimes when they got full-bodied men who were very strong and refused to accept their fate as slaves and fought against them, They would be taken and put into this little room. You see how tiny the access way is, for 2 weeks to weaken them and to stop the resistance. What I really appreciate about this site, thankfully from nature, it is overgrown, this whole structure, so that there's a massive root blocking the entrance of where horrific scenes happened back in the days that left a lot of our ancestors, a lot of people of color in pain. So that concludes my trip in Sierra Leone. I'll be making my way to the airport. So, hi guys, quick update. I am in the airport, the Longi International Airport in Freetown. I decided to change my travel route because I was not convinced about the 30-hour journey from Freetown to Bissau, and it involved almost changing the car 3 times. So from Freetown to Conakry, from Conakry to Boke, from Boke to Quebo or Gabu, and I'm still not in Bissau. So I've decided to fly for the first time on this trip between 2 countries, so flying from Freetown to Banjul in Gambia, and I will then go from Gambia as Banjul all the way down to Guinea-Bissau. So I'm not skipping Guinea-Bissau, but I'm not going by road to Guinea-Bissau from Sierra Leone because that's a nightmare. In terms of the airport in Sierra Leone, it took quite a bit to get here because you can take the Sea Coach Express, which is like $40, and also involves the bus that brings you here, or you can take the government ferry, which costs $6,000 on the normal second class, and the first class $14,000, but it takes 35 minutes or 40 minutes to get to the town where you need to take a cab from. Or you can take the speedboat, and the speedboat takes like 15 to 20 minutes depending on how rough the sea is, and the taxi to the airport itself is another 20 minutes. If you're going to fly S-Car, you might want to go on time because they tend to close the check-in a bit earlier, and they're actually running late right now because we were supposed to be boarding at 16:25 and nothing's happening, but there are also not enough passengers. But I'm going to find out soon if I am pointing at the right place, which I think I am. But that's it. I'm not doing the road to Guinea-Bissau quite yet. I will do it later. So anyway, this is hi and bye from Longi Airport, and I will say hi again when I'm in Banjul. Bye-bye. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Yours truly, Liesel81.
I'm telling you, come to Salone. You enjoy.